we think that it will be helpful to you to understand that the equivalent solutions are brewing with the equivalent problems. And you can get so good at living so real time in this vortex by reaching for thoughts of optimism and thoughts of appreciation and thoughts of love. You can be so in sync with the vibration of who you really are that as a problem is coming into focus, the solution is too. And you can be so good at living real time that you don't even ever know the problem happened because the solution happened at the same time. Yesterday, and it happens almost every time, Jerry and Esther are driving anywhere. Esther is driving the monster bus. They're coming into the hotel. And as she is looking out ahead, she sees a vehicle towing a trailer with some equipment on it. And as Esther looked at it, she knew something squirrely was about to happen. She could just feel it. So she backed way off. She actually put her foot on the brake and slowed down about 15 miles an hour. The car behind her slowed too, and the one behind that slowed too, and the one behind that slowed too. Esther's bus is very big. And the man who was pulling the trailer was changing lanes with a car in his blind spot. And the car who was in his blind spot swerved way out of the way right over to where Esther would have been if she had not felt the problem and the solution simultaneously. Now that happens to you all the time. You know it does. All the time you have those sensations, and much of the time you don't actually ever get to see the problem play out so that you don't get to crow about your solution. But we want you to understand that it's happening all day, every day. Your physical body, trillions of cells, when something is ingested or introduced to your body, you breathe a bacteria or a germ, or you ingest something in food or air. The trillions of cells in your body launch these rockets of desires and find the solution before your body ever finds the problem. In other words, this is happening all day, every day. You are introduced to so many things that if the doctors could get you to go every hour on the hour and let them check, they would pronounce you terminally ill with so many different things, because your body is compensating all day, every day for what's coming to it. When you are an ornery toad, you interfere with the communication of the trillions of your cells. When you are in love, when you are tuned in, tapped in, turned on, when you are in chronic appreciation, when you're feeling good most of the time, you don't hinder your cells from finding their solutions in the moment that they are introduced to the problems. And the problems are so slight, they are not even microscopically discernible. When you allow yourself to live real time, where solutions and problems are dancing together, that's what you said you would do. Not one of you said, I'll go into the physical and I'll make life so hard for myself and others around us that we will really expand. None of you said that. You said, I'll go forth into this contrasting environment, and from the contrast, improvement will be born. That's what the evolution of all species is about. Improvement will be born. And, you said, I'll pay attention to the way I feel, and I will do my very best to stay up to speed with the expanded version of me. Because the fact of it is, when you expand and you don't go with it, you don't feel good. It's just that simple. You are a lover, and when you don't love, it feels awful. You are one who knows the worthiness of your being, and when you don't feel worthy, you feel awful. And it's not because someone outside of you is assigning that judgment and feeling bad about something you've done. It's that you expanded and you're not up to speed with you. Every negative emotion you feel, no exception, every single time, is because part of you expanded and the other part didn't. And we're here to talk to that part today. We want to convince you of the reality of your vortex of creation. We want to help you realize that you are a vibrational being. We want you to know that you are vibration, that you are spirit, that you are source, and that you are in this physical body. It's not one or the other. It's not materialism versus spiritualism. It's everything is source, everything is spirit, everything is energy. And here in this physical form, you have the option of allowing the fullness of it to flow, or of pinching it off. It's your choice, and your emotions indicate the choice that you're making. But so many humans keep beating the drum of need or of lack as they continue to speak their words without finding a vibrational alignment with their words of desire. So we want you to remember that you have two vibrational aspects, and that the emotions within you are your indication of how well aligned or not you are. Allowing of your full connection or resistant of your full connection. And that's what we'll be talking about as we are moving forward here today. We want to help you to remember who you really are. We want you to get up to speed with who you are. We want you to leave here knowing the validity and the reality of your vortex of creation. We want you to accept that this vibrational reality is present tense. There's no separation. It's now. And what we want you to understand is that the now that is you is not the now that you think is you. You think it's the you that's sitting here in these clothes with this much money in your bank account, in this body, with these relationships. And we want you to understand that your now reality in this vortex of creation has moved past that. And the reason that you feel negative emotion is because you're not moving with it. So, we want to show you how to get forward moving. We want to show you how to live real time. We want to show you how you can be in this moment, living in this physical world, but living the vibration of all that you have become. Do you know that when you're moving through life and a problem is coming into focus, do you know that in the moment that the problem is coming into focus, the solution, an equivalent solution, is coming into focus too? Do you know that? That's such an important thing to know. When a question is formulating, so is the answer. But if you are of the frequency of the question or of the problem, you cannot be of the frequency of the answer or the solution. You can't be on both frequencies at the same time. We want you to know that we know who you really are. In other words, your vortex is very vivid and clear to us. So as we visit with you, we have one primary intention, and that is to find a way of soothing you into your vortex. We know as teachers that you cannot be booted in. And we couldn't boot you in anyway because we're never out. In other words, we stand in your vortex calling you in. That's what inspiration is, you see. And we'll give you every trick, every process, every perspective that we hold to help you to understand that you belong primarily in the vortex. That's who you are. Life is supposed to be good for you. We want you to know that you have the ability, little by little, we'll give you lots of ways to do it, of moving yourself deliberately. And it takes a little bit of effort. Effort, what is effort? Effort is something you do to overcome resistance. If there's no resistance, it requires no effort at all. So in the first, when there's resistance, a little effort to get into this vortex. But as you begin recognizing that you're in there because you feel good, and then milking it once you're in there because it feels so good to stay. As you begin practicing the vibration of who you really are, the vibration of love, the vibration of appreciation, as you take the bounce more often and you look for what you're wanting to see, as you train yourself into the frequency of who you really are, you're going to begin to experience what we are calling real-time manifestation, where in the moment that your life presents a question, your life will present an answer. Now this happens to you often, you just don't know that it is. It's happening to you on every subject that you don't have resistance. In other words, you're driving down the freeway, you felt this yourself, and you actually know what that guy over there is going to do. His erratic behavior is on your radar before he even does it. Don't you? It happens to all of you all the time. You sensed it, you knew it, and you made a decision and you acted accordingly, and you avoided a potential problem because the problem and the solution occurred to you simultaneously because you were living real time, because you were not in resistance on that subject in that moment. The cells of your body are doing it all day, every day. You have in your body right now the potential, the probability, the wherewithal to experience in great detail every horrible disease known to man and many not yet known by man. But you don't experience them because the cells of your body know what they're doing. And for the most part, even though you're negative, you're worrying and fussing about this and that and the other, you have set up a reasonable amount of resistance. Don't you think it's interesting that even though you have the best medicine ever, the scientists that are really after it, a medical system that is evolved enormously, there is more disease present on your planet today than ever before. Don't you find that interesting, at least? And we want you to understand that you have the potential, you as individuals, and the collective consciousness will follow as enough of you are understanding it. You have the ability to ingest something or be exposed to something. You don't want to live in a cave. There's mold in there anyway, and bats. You can't protect yourself from what's out there. So as you're out there being exposed to it, don't you love knowing that in the moment that you are exposed and the consciousness of your cell recognizes it, which is immediate, that there is an equivalent bounce that is offered, and that in your basking and appreciating and loving, there's no resistance, and so there's no effort required for your cells to move themselves into balance? Don't you love how your planet balances itself? You freak out, there's an earthquake, and we say, good job, planet Earth, keeping itself in balance. You don't have earthquakes, you don't have volcanoes, you don't have a slight shifting of the pole every now and again. You cease to be. But you do have all those things because your planet knows how to keep itself in balance. And so does your physical body. And when you get out of the way, when you are no longer harboring these ridiculous, really, by comparison, prejudices against things, when you are no longer pushing against what you do not want, and you are thinking more of what you do want, training yourself into the vibrational equivalency of who you really are, now you get to live life the way you've intended it. You're in that place where in your alignment, in your vortex of creation, other cooperative components who think like you and desire like you and know like you are gathered, and together you cooperatively take thought beyond that which it has been before. That's what these gatherings are, you see. We come together with all of the detail of the life experience that is you, but we bring something unique to the table. We come as full representation of who you really are in your vortex. And we hold our attention so significantly on who you really are, better stated, who you have already become, that we make it impossible for you to deviate from the vibration of the wholeness that is you if you're paying attention even a little bit. And that's what teaching is. That's what upliftment is. That's what healing is. That's who you all are. You have come to uplift, to teach through the clarity of your example, to train yourself into vibrational alignment with the whole of you, so that you can begin to see this magnificent world, this magnificent time-space reality in which you are focused through the eyes of Source, through the eyes of Source who is you. Have we convinced you that you are vibrational beings? Do you believe that we are vibration? Do you believe that this time-space reality inspires vibrational expansion? Do you believe that everything that you see in terms of manifestation was a vibrational reality first? Do you believe that this planet came into being because it was visualized? Do you believe that you are a vibrational interpreter, and that what you see and hear and smell and taste and touch and so on is your interpretation of vibration? Do you believe that what you see in your dreams are indicators of your vibration? Do you believe that your dreams are reality? Well, they're not really reality, but they're a sort of reality. They come from somewhere. In the same way that you see that your dream is something that is created by you, do you understand that your real life is something that's created by you? And does that make it easier for you to understand that this vortex is something that's created by you? And do you understand that in the same way that what is in terms of the manifestation of your planet and its technology and your clothes and your body and your eyes and all the stuff that surrounds you, that it comes into see